This is I Didn't Plan on This, and we are Zoe and Gary. We're both living with spinal cord injury, different paths, same purpose. Living the life you want and choose after a traumatic life-changing injury should always be possible, no matter what your situation. It's all about getting the right support to thrive and not just survive.
Spinal cord injury can be devastating, but for many it is the start of a new, important chapter. Never easy, always challenging, but with the right support, it can take you on a journey you never thought possible. So how are you feeling about this?
Excited but nervous, because who knows what is going to be inside.
I know, I'm quite anxious as to what questions being written for us, but I'm quite excited to see what we've got. Obviously got some questions for each other, and then we have our potluck. So should we dive into potluck first? Do you want to go? Do you want to pull the first one?
I'll go. Ooh, the excitement, the anticipation. Right. What is one thing that people misunderstand the most about you?
What about me? And obviously about you, it's a discussion. Probably that I am the happiest, smiliest, most confident person in the world. I think because part of the persona of not only of that job, my job working for the Spinal Injuries Association, and the person I put out on social media, you know, I live with a smile on my face 24/7. I'm the most confident person in the world. When the reality is, no, there's a human behind all of the content and the presentations and the support that we provide, which it's a person who gets frustrated and angry and can feel tired and sometimes just gets frustrated with life. And that's not necessarily the person that we, in the Instagram world that we all live in, that not you want to portray, but that's the reality of living with a spinal cord injury and also being human.
Yeah, well, that's it. We are only human. And as you started speaking, I was thinking that's pretty much the same for me as well, because I've got quite a positive outlook on life and I am quite smiley and always look on the bright side of things. I think sometimes that means that people don't see like the real heart of some of the challenges that I've had to overcome. So, yeah.
And I think this comes back to that hidden disability side of spinal cord injury. No one sees how difficult it is to just physically get out of bed, how long it takes to manage your bodily functions, the anxiety and stress of a bowel day, of getting on a plane or getting on a train or going out and sitting having a conversation with something. It's always in the back of your mind. Whereas again, we still have to smile and portray that we are these amazing, confident people.
And
which
no one knows
I think
that
we are as well. I think we do that both incredibly well. I think it's a big part of our life, but it's still something that I think most people don't really understand what's going on behind. Right, I'm going to go for another potluck. See what we got. Right. Has your SCI fundamentally changed the type of person you are, for better or worse?
Yeah, absolutely.
For
the better.
For the better?
Yeah, definitely. I think for a long time, I struggled a lot with confidence. And there were things that I wanted to do and I had kind of visions for my future, but I kept finding myself getting stuck. So when I ended up with a spinal cord injury in a global pandemic with a 1-year-old and I got through it, I'm like, you can do anything now.
Take on the world.
Yeah, I could literally take on the world. So, yeah.
For me, I think it's a bit of a double-edged sword for me. I think in some aspects, it's because being sort of 23 years into my injury now, that I got that element of confidence in my own ability and my limitations. I understand my boundaries. But I think there's an element of skepticism that comes with disability as well, where you can look at aspects of the world and feel quite frustrated and feel that at times things are unfair, especially when I was injured. There was no support, there was no information, there was a lot less support, there was no social media, I had a phone with buttons and I was playing Snake to keep myself entertained in the evening whilst I waited 2 months to get into a spinal unit. Whereas now you can do your entire rehab on YouTube. You can put your level of injury and get see how someone's doing it and have that as a basis. Whereas because I didn't get that initially, I think I went into the world quite angry. As much as I was trying to hide that again through this fake persona of confidence and portraying to the world that I am rehabbed, I just wasn't, and I really struggled with all that. And I think in the long run, that's made me a better person, a stronger person. But it also pushed me to elements of my life that I didn't really ever thought I'd see myself experiencing. because I've always been confident, the young man in the early 2000s where you don't show weakness, and that's all what my life became. So I think now probably much better, but I've definitely experienced aspects of my personality that I'd never thought I would have experienced, which is an interesting one.
Yeah, no, I do agree with that as well. It's definitely shown me the lower echelons of my experience at the same time, but within it, the light came through, and I found many positive aspects of myself as a result of it.
It's waiting for that light, isn't it? Once you get to that point, it just changes everything, and your vision of the world just becomes so much clearer, and where you fit into the world as well.
Yeah, exactly.
So, should we do an individual one? Should we mix it up a little bit? Do you want to go? Yeah, you go. Go. Give you a question for me.
Does alcohol and spinal cord injury go together, Gary?
Well, me being obviously a bit of a social butterfly in the industry, and I do sort of quite enjoy myself whenever I go out. I'd say it's mixed. I think alcohol obviously gives lots of people more confidence. It does with me. You'll always catch me on the dance floor at the end of the night, sort of throwing some shapes. However, I've also got the scars on my face to prove that it doesn't always mix incredibly well. When you leave your friend's house, you go flying down a hill and you try to get up a curb and you're incredibly drunk. When it goes wrong, you headbutt the floor and spend the rest of the night in A&E. Don't recommend that one. But it's again really interesting one, because my experience of alcohol has not always been a positive one. I used alcohol as a coping mechanism. I turned to drink and drugs as how I coped with those very early stages, which were, again, just difficult because I didn't have anyone to talk to, no one who understood. So I'd just get up every day and get drunk. Drinking a bottle of Jack Daniels for breakfast, it became a norm. And I'm very lucky that I don't have a bad relationship with alcohol. I have a very positive one. That's how I get to go to lots of black tie balls and I go out socialising with friends. And I like to think I'm quite a fun drunk. I don't think I get in any fights or upset anyone or turn into some bigot or something like that. Definitely not that kind of person. It's something that is, become almost part of my personality now, because I do enjoy a good drink. But only socially. I don't drink every day, or I don't drink at home or anything.
Yeah, not to mask your pain.
No, definitely not. No, I'm very well adjusted these days.
That's good.
Right, let's see what we've got for you here. How does your daughter react when your injuries and getting on top of you?
She's very patient, and she gives me a lot of grace. And it's making me feel a little bit emotional, because it's all the sort of things that you don't factor in when you're having a child. Obviously, with my injury happening on her first birthday, but she's just adjusted so well, and she's such a compassionate and kind little human that sees when I'm struggling and sees when I'm tired and makes herself busy and helps out where she can. And I think sometimes it's like she does more than she should have to do for your average 6-year-old.
Mm. Yeah. That's probably
You're trying to make me cry, Gary.
I'm doing my best now. But it's products of good parenting as well. You obviously instill some good values into her, and I think growing up with exposure to disability will set her on an understanding of the world's not fair.
She's already such an advocate when we're out. Those electric bikes that are just
the floor everywhere,
cluttering London at the moment. They're an absolute nightmare. And she's like, "Mummy, look at that bike in front of the drop curb. That's not very good, is it?" And she's just very aware and very conscious and empathetic. And I'm really proud of who she is as a result of what she's kind of come to learn through my injury. So, yeah.
Future advocate for accessibility rights.
Yeah, most definitely. Most definitely.
Oh, amazing. And did you ever have any worries or fears in those moments when you thought, right, I've now got a spinal injury and I've got a 1-year-old?
Well, I remember reading an article at the time of my injury about, it was written by a daughter of someone with Cauda-Equina syndrome. And she was she was a young teenager, and she spoke about being embarrassed of her mum's disability. And it mortified me, because to think of being an embarrassment when I just think I'm so cool, do you know what I mean? It was like,
clearly,
obviously. But that was like, oh my gosh, my daughter's going to be embarrassed of me because I use mobility aids and because I've got continence issues, but actually I think it's kind of pushed me on to prove even more like, no, I'm not that there's anything embarrassing about disability. It's obviously just this young girl's perception, but let me just show you, you know, how good I can be with a disability. And yeah, it's kind of set me on a bit of a mission to just prove that it's not all, you know, negative connotations and stuff. So yeah.
Wait for those teenage years. She'll be definitely embarrassed of mum at some point.
Oh, she used to love a free ride in the wheelchair.
Right, should we go back to potluck?
Yeah, let's go for it.
Okay. Oh, what would you sacrifice to regain function or control? Big question.
That is a big question. What would I sacrifice? Oh gosh, that is a big question. Have you got a quick an answer come through? Because I'm.
So my first thoughts kind of went to, well, what in my life don't I value as much as, say, continence or sexual function or feeling? You know, and like, would I give up my family? No. Would I give up my friends? Absolutely not. Would I give up my job or my lifestyle? No. Would I give up chocolate? Maybe. Would I give up alcohol? We're really testing my resolve. I don't know, because I think I've got to a point in my life where I've got such management over my situation that you know, I wouldn't say my life is perfect, but it's very much enabling me to live the life I want to. That may change in the future as I age, and I at some point no doubt will require care or be in a care home. I may have to move from a car to a wheelchair accessible vehicle or to a power chair. Maybe I'll have different, maybe I'll give up my friends then. But who knows? I think that's, again, I think it's because I'm so far down the line now that I just can't imagine life any other way. You know, I catch up on so much stuff while I'm sat in the toilet for an hour. You know, emails or social media. It's, I found a way of using that time. So, but yeah. So
I can't think of anything that I'd want to give up, but I mean, I'm sitting here feeling the burning in my back and in my feet and thinking it would be nice for that to be gone, and thinking about the bowel was the first thing that came into my mind, and thinking, yeah, I mean, I'd love to trade something to have some normality there, but also I do feel quite well adjusted now, and I'm still living a good quality life, so I don't feel like I need to give anything up. I think it's about that process of acceptance and thinking, you know what, everything's got a place in my life. I don't want to give anything up, and I've learned a lot about where I am. But even 6 years in, I still haven't got a good bowel routine, so I'm like, yeah, something's got to give.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think I'm all right.
Well, good. I'd say, ask me that question after I'd had a bowel accident or something. I'd give up absolutely everything. I think.
There's me cat.
Yeah.
There's me mum.
Oh no, definitely not the cat. The cat is like my ultimate priority in my entire existence. I love my little bandit. Do you want to grab a potluck? Yeah.
What is one dream that lives in your heart that you haven't yet dared to dream out loud?
Ooh. Big one. I think as time's gone on, and I'm now an uncle to amazing niece and nephews, that reality of potentially having children one day, which is something it's not something I've ever pursued, even though with previous relationships we've actually started IVF processes, but relationships broke down because it's quite a very stressful thing to go through. But to be actually, was I even pushing for it? Probably not. It was more kind of the process of being in a relationship. You got married, and then the next stage was to have children. Whereas now having amazing niece and nephews, and I see the fun that my brother and my sister and their respective partners have as being parents, it does make me sort of pang that little bit for wanting to potentially, see what I can produce, see what they look like, and see what personality they have rather than anything else. But it would be nice to potentially be a parent one day. But I'm also incredibly selfish, and I love my life, and I'm very busy and trying to fit that in. Let alone dating. Yeah, maybe it's just to have a girlfriend again one day. Maybe I'll just aim for that at the minute. But yeah, that would be my dream. What about you?
I think it might be something career focused. I think something, yeah, I don't know. I feel like I'm doing a lot to live out my dreams at the moment, like with the book coming out and the opportunities that are arising. But yeah, I think just some stability and security, because it's been a long road after being injured to regaining some stability again, financial security and that sort of thing. It's been like, injury, who am I? What am I doing? Where am I going? And I feel like I kind of know who I am and where I'm going now. And now it's just about really growing those roots of stability. I think for me is like the one thing that's in the back of my mind is like, how can I create an abundant and secure future for myself and my daughter? And what that looks like. So,
well, when your book turns into a film,
yeah,
who's going to play you? By the way, that's gonna be a big question.
Can I play myself?
Of course. Can I play me in the podcast version?
Yeah, you can. Well? Yeah. Right, shall I go?
Yeah. Do you want to do back to the personal ones?
You're very cheerful in your approach to life, but do you still have days where you wake up and think, why should I bother?
Simple answer is yes. They're few and far between these days. Every day I wake up and I know I have a plan. I think because my life is so structured at the minute with work. I work full time. I play lots of sports. I have lots of social events to go through. So there's always something. And because I'm really pushing myself hard in the gym, etc. But sometimes I do wake up and I've not slept well. I very rarely sleep well, just in general, and I'm exhausted. And the thought of, again, going to spend an hour in the bathroom or having to get up at 4 a.m. because I'm driving somewhere long distance, and I'm just thinking, I need a day off, I need a break, I need a holiday. So yeah, those days are still there. However, I will say that I don't feel bad about that either. I embrace those moments, and I feel that it's something that it's my body telling me that I'm being forced to rest. I do push myself hard. And I think sometimes I will get to that point where, I don't know, I'm scrolling through some dating site or something, and I just have a bit of a moment or a breakdown thinking, I haven't got the energy for this, and I don't want to put myself out there. I don't want to have to explain my disability to people, because that's the reality of, whenever we're going to meet someone new or go into new aspects of the job, it's that constant explanation. I just think, God, I can't be bothered again.
Starting from the ground up again every
just
time.
Just accept me for me without me having to give you the details. But I am quite thankful that those days are few and far between. So yeah, but they used to be every day, which is I remember those days, and I hope to never be back in that situation, because it's not fun. It's not nice, and it's a very lonely and isolating situation to find yourself in. So, yeah.
Yeah, the odd day here and there is one thing, but when you're waking up to that every day is something totally different, isn't it?
It is. I think it's recognising those signs. And again, sometimes people can push themselves so hard, and especially if they equate having a spinal cord injury to having a full-time job. If then you've got to work, or you're promoting books, or you're recording voiceovers, or you're getting social media, or you're picking the kids up from school and you're having to be a mom, or you got all these other things on top, it's exhausting. So yeah, sometimes I think you just need to recognise when those symptoms are getting a bit too much, and you have to force yourself to stop.
Yes.
So
give yourself some grace, but do listen to your body before you burn out and crash, innit?
It's like Call of Duty time then. Online gaming then, with my mates and my brother. So, right, let's see what we've got for you here. Okay, so you're very spiritual in your approach to life. Does living with the frustrations of SCI challenge your beliefs?
It deepens them, I think. After my injury, my spiritual experience and my faith and trust have just got even stronger. So I think it's easy. It's a mindset thing. I think it's easy to be in what I would describe as like a victim mindset and be like, oh, why me? And that sort of thing. But when you start to trust in the process and allow yourself to surrender to the things that come up, because when you get into resistance with what life is putting in front of you, that's where you meet the discomfort. That's where you struggle. But if you allow yourself to just be like, okay, well, let me see what this can teach me. What more can I learn about myself from this experience, and how can I adjust my way of thinking a little bit more, and just let it be an ongoing journey, like day to day, like how can I meet myself today with the challenges that come up. And it's just deepened it. And I think that my life has become much richer through that process of just surrendering to what life brings. It doesn't mean it's easy. It doesn't mean I'm like, I love a challenge, Lord, please punish me in some sort of sadistic way. But yeah, it's an evolving journey.
So in those moments then, when you're in pain, let's say you've got a discomfort, it's a bad bowel day, and again, it's testing your resolve. What do you do in that moment? Is there something you go to? Is there a mantra you recite? Is there a thought process? Or is it just you're just inner shine comes out and you go, I can handle this. I am.
Well, the way that I see it is like I'm a soul having a human experience in a spinal cord injured body, and I believe that my soul chose this path for me to learn certain lessons. And it's like I feel like I'm in a video game. So whatever comes up is like an obstacle, and I feel like I'm fighting the end of level boss, and within it is there's some sort of rich nugget of wisdom that comes in either just allowing myself to be like, yeah, the pain is ever present, so I have to learn how to function with it, because it's not sometimes it's worse, but it's never not there. So it's like, right, okay, so this pain is here. So this is why I use a lot of tools like meditation and visualization, because it helps me to elevate out of the physical pain experience. So when I'm then going into my head and visualizing like what a good future looks like for me, or the book, or whatever it is that I want to create, I'm going into this creative process. And in that creative process of visualization and imagination, I'm not focusing on everything that's not so good. So some people might say it's a little bit delusional. Say what you will, but I'm just following this path, and it's leading me to wonderful things. So what can I say?
If it's working, it's working.
It's working for me.
Yeah.
It's working for me.
Fantastic, brilliant. Right, I think we're back to potluck. Okay, what's one movie or book that changed your perspective on life? I don't know if you can name your own, but...
Activate Your Light is a fantastic book, absolute game changer.
Good plug in there, excellent.
There's a few. There's a book called Conversations with God, and it's not quite what it sounds like, but after my injury, I couldn't get out. Bearing in mind I'm on a 3rd floor flat, so I couldn't do all those stairs. Once I got up, I was stuck. I used to just go and sit next to the window on my perching stool, and like I've got trees outside, so I used to just sit with the trees, and I read this book, Conversations with God, and it just reframed different aspects of my experience that just were really helpful for where I was at that time. And another one was Untethered Soul by Michael J. Singer, which again, it's just these things that you read it and it just helps you to shift your perspective on things, mindset things, and you're like, yeah, I don't need to think like that. And it just helps you to perceive things slightly differently, and things that have really helped me to adjust to the injury anyway. Very interesting. Mine are definitely not as a self-help kind of books. Mine's like The Hobbit. It's my favourite book of all time, and it's one that I've always sort of turned back to. The journey of Bilbo Baggins going off, and getting the ring, all the trials and tribulations along the way, and it's something that it's about I do my best to read every single year, as whether it's a discipline or it's it's that escapism. I think that's always helped me. And then the other thing that's just popped into my mind, and I remember being at a Craig Charles gig, being drunk and tweeting him a load of nonsense, because he completely changed my life. Because after my injury, I rewatched Red Dwarf. Oh, classic. And Lister, this man who's woke up 3 million years into the future, who's now isolated, his entire world has gone that he knew. And he's now just trying to exist and make do and make the best of it. And I remember just really relating to this character. And he had these extreme personalities that would drop in. I could see those characters in the people I rehabbed with, and then people I was playing basketball with, and how they influenced me and how they kept me sane, or how they challenged me and tested me.
And that was something that, and again, it just popped into my mind. Then I thought, God, I sent that really. I'm sure he never read the tweet.
Yeah, but even if you did, imagine if you've created some form of art and then that resonates with someone and helps them on their journey. Like, all I can think about is if I write my book and that helps someone, he'd only be chuffed at reading that, even if he didn't respond.
Well, yeah, I think, let's say, for an artist to have, let's say, that impact on. Have you seen, let's say, for me, the most recent one is Afterlife by Ricky Gervais. Oh, I cried watching that. I've never seen any sort of mainstream sitcom or whatever that resonated so well to my own journey. And again, it was just this complete giving up. What's the point? And the process he goes through to rediscover himself, and it really resonates well with so many people. But yeah, he was another one that I Instagram messaged him afterwards saying, "You'll probably never read this, but you've completely changed my life, and this is such a powerful thing, and I will watch this over and over and over because it's such a heartwarming thing." And again, the character's just brilliant. Yeah. Confused. So, is walking overrated? If having an incomplete SCI means you live in constant pain.
Yeah, I think it is, I think it is. And then you've got this weird battle with your own internalized ableist kind of narrative. And because I can walk, I'm like, I should walk. But I recognize that forcing myself to do that just causes myself so much pain and fatigue. But I'm like, no, I can, so I should, and I must. And yeah, there's part of me that just feels, I don't know what the word is, but not a fraud, like in my chair, because I do use it for going to the shopping centre, or I'll use a mobility scooter, and if it's something that's a bit further distance. But when I'm doing the school run, when I'm navigating the stairs, when I'm trying, it's like, what am I trying to prove, and who am I trying to prove it to? Something within myself that feels like I should just keep doing. But it is overrated because I can save myself a lot of pain and a lot of fatigue when I allow myself to use a chair. But also I'm too weak to push, man. So I tried to like wheel down the road outside my house in the camber, and I was just like, no, I'm not made for it. I'm too weak, man. And because I had the choice, I'm like, well, the legs it is then, I'll struggle on,
I'm going to see you battling along. Next to see me walking in, I'm like, just see you flopping around in a wheelchair, struggling with the camera. Because I'm like, I make it look so easy.
Yeah, you do. Effortless. I'm like, you don't realise until you're in it. It's not as easy as people make it look.
You got the broken flags. You got people who spit on the ground, dog dirt, everything, and cars parked on the pavements. Yes. But interesting what you were saying then, and the first thing that popped to my mind, like, about people that we've supported over the years, is that survivor's guilt. And people who go into spinal units and they're able to walk and they look around and they see wheelchair users or power chair users, ventilated patients, and that makes it almost feel like, it's what they've told me, is that they don't have the right to be, they don't deserve to be there.
That's exactly how I felt when I was in Stanmore. There was a guy in there who was, he was really struggling with his injury, and it was very severe, and I was there walking around sometimes using the chair, but having the choice and seeing him struggle in the way that he was and all the emotion that came with it. And I felt, who are you to be here? Like, about myself, like, what have you got to moan about? But then also that minimises the very real suffering that I'm experiencing as well, because although my situation was different to his, and on the outside looking in, it's not the same, it's still the biggest physical thing that's happening in my life. And I'm still facing battles with all the things that are no longer working the way that they used to. So it is a very weird, like, where do I fit within this? And also because I feel like the spinal cord injured community is very much focused, and like the visual aspect of it. Because if I'm just standing there and I haven't got any sticks, I'm not like, ticking any boxes of like representation, because you can't see it, can you? Mm-hmm. So then there's that whole thing as well. It's like, well, if you're coming, can you bring your sticks, or can you come in your chair so you can prove? And I'm like, well, actually, even without all of that, how are we helping to change the narrative in society when we need to have that visual cue for what a disability looks like? So yeah.
Interesting one for you then, just on off that. Do you ever get challenged when parking?
The first time I went out of the house in my car, the first time I was able to drive after my injury, I went to Sainsbury's. I hadn't even got out of the chair and this man started accosting me and I was like, oh no. He came up, he's like, you can't park there. And I was like, well, I can. I did have my wheelchair in the back as well. And I was like, no, it's only for disabled. I was like, I've got a disability, I am disabled. I said, do you want to open my boot and see my wheelchair in the back? And then he was like, well, So, but even though that happened on the first time, I haven't had it since, but I'm always on guard for it. And yeah, it's not nice to feel like you're lesser than, or like you have to prove more. It's like, as I am is enough, So yeah, there's something that needs to change in the psyche of humanity around the perceptions of disability when you don't have a visual cue or mobility aid.
I was want to very about the original question though, because I don't have pain. Other than where my back's broken, if I'm sedentary all day, then yes, I'll get pain. But you live in pain and you can walk, and I can't walk, but I have no pain. So it's not what is the best compromise. Who knows? Obviously, it's very individual. But
I suppose for me, like when I came out of hospital, I felt privileged in the sense of being able to walk out in the respect that I was able to go back to my house and my home and my flat. So I always felt like if it took me a little bit longer to get into surgery and the outcome wasn't as positive as it has ended up, and then my whole life would have had to have changed. So I suppose in some ways that to me always felt like a privilege to be able to go back to my home. But it's no fun being in permanent pain. No. It's really not.
Right, are we back to... Oh no, you're on your question.
Have you ever felt truly alone since your injury?
Yes. Yeah, very much so. I remember being in I was on a night out. I was in a club, and it was absolutely packed, and I'm just sat in my chair and I'm surrounded by hundreds of people, completely alone. I mean, again, because of the sound doesn't travel vertically, so everyone's all my mates all have a chat and a laugh and I can't hear it. And I remember feeling so isolated, and I was just broken in that moment. And that was unfortunately one of several times, especially in those early days. But that one really profoundly stuck out to me, where I was just nobody. Everyone around me had the best intentions. Like, oh, Gary's out, he's come out, he was still one of the lads. But not a single one of them really understood what it took me to get me there. And they just kind of, just because I was there was enough, not keeping me involved or making sure I'm part of this, this experience that we're all having. And it was not the most pleasant of experiences, but that kind of led to lots of other sort of alone times. Every time like marriages break down or my relationships are broke down, and it's that, will I ever be in a relationship? Will ever actually find me attractive again? Am I still a man? Am I still a sexual being? Am I all this? And it hits hard every single time. And it's not that I give up now, but dating's just become quite difficult now as well with how it is. And but I have amazing family and friends, and I have a phenomenal network that I can call on should I need it. And I'm very good in my own space. So again, thankfully, I don't have those moments very often, but occasionally, still human. Yeah.
Okay. What has made you most angry since your injury?
Trying to get off a plane and just waiting for 3 hours for them to get for an ambulance to turn up, and then the wheelchairs had gone off to baggage claim, and I ended up with a urinary tract infection. I was livid. I was borderline screaming at them to get me off this damn airplane, because that's one of the moments that made me so angry. But not many things. I'm quite chill these days. What about you?
Housing associations and their ableist systems and the lack of disability awareness. Boom.
Mic drop on that one, definitely. Lack of access. I think I've got to the point now where I just accept wherever I'm going to go, it's going to be a challenge. So maybe I've given up a little bit. Maybe I need some of your fight back. I need some of this energy. She was going like banging on the local housing association doors. chain ourselves to the railings.
We shall not be moved.
Puncture me tyre so I can't go anywhere. Yeah, good one. Right, final one. Right. If you could press one magic button right now that would change one thing about yourself, what would it be?
About myself? I'm perfect, guys. What do you mean change about myself? What would I change about myself? Pain be gone.
Pain be gone.
Yeah, I think I'd have so much more capacity to do so much more. It would reduce my fatigue. It would increase my capacity. Pain be gone.
So yeah, similar but opposite. I would want sensation, which I no doubt would mean. If someone flicked a switch now, give me all my feeling back, no doubt my body would just be wrecked and in so much pain. But I kind of miss that as well. Yeah. So yeah, to get feeling and sensation and bodily function control, that would be a dream. People don't know they're born, do they?
No, they don't. People do not know they're born.
We're out of questions. That's all of them. I don't feel too violated or...
It's good to know you a little bit more deeply, Gary.
Absolutely, yeah. And you, and thank you for sharing everything with me as well.
Likewise.
We hope you enjoyed this episode of I Didn't Plan on This. If so, please like, comment and share.
If you or someone you know is living with a spinal cord injury and they need support, the Spinal Injuries Association is here for you. Our vision is a fulfilled life for everyone living with spinal cord injury. If you'd like to support us or find out more about the vital work that we do across the UK, please visit our website at spinal.co.uk.